In 1863, Wisconsin Senator James R. Doolittle said, "By the laws of Massachusetts, intermarriages between these races are forbidden as criminal." Why forbidden? Simply because relying merely on natural instinct is wrong. In 2014, following a determination that Michigan's same-sex marriage ban is unconstitutional, an amicus brief filed on behalf of 110 mostly black pastors by the Christian Thomas More Law Centre said in part, comparing the dilemmas of same-sex couples to the centuries of discrimination faced by black Americans is a distortion of our country's cultural and legal history. The brief argues that unlike skin colour, sexual identity is not immutable. Reading, the truth of the matter is that it is merely an activity in which they engage. The state has no responsibility to promote any person's sexual proclivities, whether heterosexual, homosexual or otherwise. The brief makes no commentary on the fact that both bigotry and tolerance are also not immutable and, in fact, are merely activities in which a person may or may not engage in. The long-standing promise of celibacy by Catholic priests is being challenged by a headstrong group of Vatican mistresses, as 26 women with priestly lovers have sent a letter to Pope Francis requesting that the celibacy requirement be lifted. Since celibacy has been a requirement of Catholics from around the 1300s, the practice may be here to stay. As you are well aware, a lot has been said by those who are in favour of optional celibacy, but very little is known about the devastating suffering of a woman who is deeply in love with a priest, the women wrote to the Pope. "We humbly place our suffering at your feet in the hope that something may change, not just for us, but for the good of the entire Church." The women said they were from all over Italy and from further afield, highlighting the widespread reach of the problem of celibate priests falling in love and not being able to consummate their relationships. "We love these men," said these women. "They love us." The ban against sex for priests was not codified until the Second Lateran Council in 1139. The law was later reaffirmed in the 1700s and supported by Pope John Paul II and Benedict XVI. As Pope Paul VI wrote in 1967, celibacy was deemed holier than marriage. However, in April, a German Catholic priest sent the Pope a letter asking to be relieved of his celibacy vows after he admitted to having a child. A recent Univision poll found that 50% of Catholics supported marriage for members of the clergy. Likewise, a Pew Research Centre poll issued before Francis became Pope found that 58% of American Catholics said the Pope should allow priests to marry. Catholics are praying for change in church policy to allow everything from married priests, women priests, birth control, and a host of other issues. Catholics for Choice President John O'Brien said in a statement, "The burning question is, will Pope Francis deliver any or all the reforms the laity are crying out for?" A high-ranking official in the Vatican has denied a charge that he pressured the initiation of a €15 million deal, 20 million in US dollars, between the Vatican Bank and an Italian company called Lux Vitae. Tarcisio Bertone, the Vatican's second-ranking official under Pope Francis, is a former Secretary of State and head of the bank's Oversight Committee of Cardinals, argued that the ADN Kronos news company that the deal was above the board. The convention with the company, Lux Vitae, was discussed and approved by the Committee of Cardinals and by the Supervisory Board at a meeting on December the 4th, 2013, as shown by the minutes. Bertone said he also told ANSA news agency that there was no problem linked to this operation. "I don't understand these attacks," Bertone added. "I am in harmony with the Pope. He likes me." Vatican spokesman Federico Lombardi, who released a brief statement about the allegation, did not elaborate on whether Bertone was under any other investigations. "There is no criminal investigation by Vatican prosecutors against Cardinal Tarcisio Bertone," Lombardi said. According to the Financial Information Authority, more than 200 transactions deemed suspicious were reported in 2013 through more stringent controls at the Vatican Bank and the Institute of Religious Works, compared with 6 the year before. Bertone drew sharp criticism last month when news agencies reported that he was moving into a 6,500 square foot Vatican apartment. Bertone defended the move, noting that he was paying for the upgrades to the apartment out of his own money and claimed the apartment was actually half the size as reported.